Good, good, good. This morning, I didn't hear that. That's all right. I'm going to start this morning off with a testimony. How about that? Does that work? I have had this pain in my ear. It was actually like the inside, but not like in my ear, but like this part of my ear. But it hurt. It didn't hurt like when I'm just here. It didn't have any pain like that. But if I touched it or like tried to clean my ears or even wore my sunglasses, it would press down on my ears. And I thought when it first started happening, I thought sometimes you sleep on your ear wrong, it'll make it hurt. And I thought, well, that's just what it is. Well, went by a couple of days, and it still hurt. And so I'm like, look in my ear. I was like, do you see something? Is there something there? I don't see nothing there. It looks like there's a little scratch. Well, this was last week. And so then we went out of town, and it hurt me all week. This last week as well. It's like 2 weeks my ear was hurting. I was like, yesterday I was driving in my car and put my sunglasses on my ear, and I was like, dadgummit, that hurts. Couldn't even wear my sunglasses. I mean, it hurt so bad. And I'm in the car by myself, and I had just gotten a phone call from a friend, and she was telling me about a situation in her family where her 2-year-old nephew was just diagnosed with lymphoma. And it's in his lymph nodes and in his bone marrow. And so they're like, don't get upset. There's no reason for you to believe that he will not recover fully. He will recover fully. But best case scenario is 2.5 years of chemo. 2.5 years of chemo for a 2-year-old. So I'm in my car. I'm by myself. My ear's hurting. My friend just told me this. I'm like, dadgummit. So I'm by myself. There ain't nobody else in the car but me. I'm going to get pizza for Leah and her friends for supper last night. In my car by myself. So I just start praying. And I pray for my ear. And then I pray for my friends. And this nephew and that family. And a couple of other people that Lord laid on my heart. I have no pain in my ear today. There's none. It is completely gone. No pain at all. 2 weeks. Yesterday it was so bad I couldn't even wear my sunglasses on my head. The pain is completely gone. I told God, I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know why it hurts, but guess what? It doesn't matter why. Because you're Lord over everything. So I don't care what it is. Don't know why it's hurting, but that's healed. It's taken care of. And Pastor Randy's been talking to us. It's been in my head, can't get it out, about being arrogant. Be arrogant. To me, I used to think of that as a bad word. It's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Because, we believe. What do you believe? What do you believe? Do you believe what we're taught in this house? Do you believe that healing is there? Do you believe that it's yours? Do you believe that? Then be arrogant about it. Okay, it may be a little thing. I don't know what was wrong with my ear, but guess what? It's healed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it was anymore. Why? Because I'm healed. Whether it was a big thing or a little thing, it's gone. There's no more pain. Pain's not coming back, no matter what it is. It's gone. It's healed. It's taken care of. That healing is mine. But you know what? I don't know how to say this, and I don't want it to sound, I don't want it to sound arrogant, but you know what? I want it to sound arrogant. We begin to pray for people and to pray for things. And you know what? It doesn't really matter if I pray for it or for you who prays or anything else. But do we believe that there's a difference in the way we believe things that come from God? That they're ours, that they belong to us already, that they're already in my possession. They're already in my possession. I don't have to do anything for them. I don't have to make things happen. I don't have to work. I don't have to do anything for that healing to be mine. It's already mine. I already possess it. But yet, I pray in a way that I don't believe that it's already mine. Like something's got to happen. Yesterday, guess what? I didn't pray, God, my ear is healed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what's going on. Healing belongs to me. It's mine. I possess that. No matter what it is, it belongs to me. And we need to begin to think about things that way. When I pray for somebody else, guess what? You know why healing belongs to them? Because the same God that dwells in me dwells in them. There's no difference in the God in me than the God in you and the God in them. And the healing, it doesn't matter. Guess what? I can believe that they're healed. You know what? I believe that little boy doesn't have to go through 2.5 years of chemo. He doesn't have to go through 2.5 years of chemo. I couldn't imagine my baby having to go through 2.5 years of chemo. Why should that be any different than God healing my ear? Why should it be any different? The same prayer that I prayed for my ear, I prayed for that little boy. And there are other people that riding in my car yesterday, the same prayer. Guess what? Even though it may seem like a little thing, guess what? It's no different to God. That lymphoma in that little boy and the pain in my ear is no different. It's not any bigger for God. Guess what? You know where it becomes bigger? In here. In here it becomes bigger. Guess what? The same stripes he bore on his back that I no longer have pain in my ear, he bore for that little boy that has lymphoma. No difference. There's no difference. We make it different. We make it different. Sister Judy's been preaching. Guess what? From the very beginning, in the garden, there's no difference in. This is something that's been in, I don't know, for the last several months. When God created Adam, He created this world. He created the earth that we live in. And what did He create it for? For us. For Adam. He created it for His creation that He desired to have relationship with. He created that world. And guess what He did? He gave Adam dominion over it. He said, you rule and you reign here. Did His plan change? Did His plan change? His plan didn't change. What changed? Adam's thinking about who God created him to be. And we allow it to change our thinking of who God created us to be. What do you believe? What do you believe about yourself? I'm beginning to believe something different about myself. There are things that on the outside we've been taught about ourselves. This world has taught us things about who we are and who we can be. This is where Angie's growing. This is where I'm changing. Why? Because until I can believe something different about myself, I'm never going to be the person God created me to be. I'm never going to be who God created me to be. I'm never going to step in the steps that He desires for me to step in. I'm never going to reach the people He desires for me to reach. I'm never going to preach to the people or teach to the people that God desires for me to teach to until I see something different about me. Until I can see myself being that person, I'm not going to be that person. What do you believe about yourself? What is stopping you from being the person you can be, from doing the things that you can do, and from having the things that you can have? The stuff right here. We have to change what's in between our ears. We have to. We have to. I have to look. God has changed me so much in the last year. I don't even know who that person was this time last year. And I don't want to go back to that person. You know why? Because there were things that I thought about that person that I no longer think about the person I am today. I see myself totally different today than I did a year ago. Why? Because I'm allowing God to show me who I am. I'm allowing Him to change something in between my ears about me. We got to see that God desires for us to see that we have dominion here. We don't live like that. We don't live like that. I'll say I don't live like that. I won't put that on you. I'll take it on myself. I don't live like that. I said something out of my mouth the other day, and I have to apologize to my husband. I'm like, why do we always get crapped on? Why is it always us? He was like, Angie, see, Angie's living, what came out of her mouth was, I don't have dominion here. I don't make this world what God created it to be for me. I'm allowing this world to tell me who I am. I'm allowing the situation to tell me what I can have. Instead of me looking at the situation and saying, guess what? You know what Dean always says? We win.
Yep. Come on.
We win. It might not, this may look like we didn't win, but guess what? God says, you know what? I'm going to show you again how you win. How you win. Even though right now it doesn't look like you win, I still got it under control. I still have the situation under control. Why? Because you belong to me. Not because of anything Angie did or that I can make happen, but you belong to me. See, it was something I was worrying about. And I was, okay, God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to work this out? How is this going to happen? And now I see, God, guess what? Even though when it first happened, I thought, well, dadgummit. Nope, God just worked it out again. He just worked it out again. There is, I'm gonna read some scripture. No, I want to go to Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, and now God has us where He wants us, with all the time in this world and the next to shower grace and kindness upon us in Christ Jesus. God put us right where He wants us. Why did He put us there? Not for me to get crapped on, but to show me His grace, to show me His mercy, to show me His kindness, to show me, guess what, Angie? Even when you don't think I got it under control, I got it under control. I'm going to show you, guess what? You thought you were going to be blessed? I'm going to bless you even more. You thought this was going to be a good thing. Well, guess what? I'm going to make it a better thing than you thought it could be. And that's what God did. I thought it was a good thing. But God showed me how, even though I tried to do it my way and I tried to work it my way, that He could make it even better for me. He could make it even better for me. Saving is all His idea and all His work. And all we do is trust Him enough to let us do it. Guess what? His saving, we learned about it. See, most people, when they see that, they see it's just about saving my spirit. Not just about my spirit. It's about my whole person. Spirit, soul, and body. It's about all of me. His saving of all of me is not my doing. It's all His doing. Every part of me, everything is all His doing. And all I have to do is trust Him enough to let Him do it. All I have to do is say, okay, God, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to move myself out of the way. Because guess what? I keep trying to put myself in the way and keep trying to do it my way. And He said, just move. Like I do my children. Just move. You can't do it right. Just move. Let me do it. God's trying to tell Angie that too. Just move out of the way. Just get out of my way. Already got it done. Would you just move? Would you just stop? Stop trying to fix it. It's God's gift from start to finish. And we don't play a major role. And if we did, we'd probably go around bragging about how we'd done the whole thing. No, we neither make nor save ourselves. God does both the making and the saving. He creates each of us by Christ Jesus to join Him in the work that He is doing, the good work. You know what? He wants me to join Him. But how does He want me to join in? Trusting Him. Trusting Him. He wants me to be part. He wants me to rest in it. We've been taught, guess what? It's not a work that I have to do. It's a work that I rest in. Because guess what? I understand that He's already done it all. All I got to do... My phone's back there. I looked something up today. So what... Go to 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, "But we are the ones chosen by God, chosen for the high calling of priestly work, chosen to be holy people, God's instruments to do His work and to speak out for Him and tell others of the night and day difference He has made for you. From nothing to something, from rejected to accepted." God's made us priests and kings. There's a priestly work that He has for us to do. You know, king is not hard for me to understand. I'm probably the only one up here, okay? The only one in the church. But you know what? I'm a little slow sometimes. King is not hard for me to understand. We know what kings are, right? Kings rule. And they reign. They got everything they need. They got land. They got money. They got, you know, when I think of kings, I think of, I like period shows like that were set back when there were kings. You know, like when kings were really kings. You know, not just like for show. You know. But they had everything. They didn't want for anything. Guess what? And people came to them and said, I'm old. The words just flew away. It's okay. But people came to them and they said, I'm here for you and I'm going to serve you. They had everything. They didn't want or need for anything. They had everything. They were top of the food chain. There was nothing higher than them. We all get that, right? They didn't need, they had servants, they had land, they had all the food they wanted, they had everything. They had more than enough. Not just enough for them, but enough for their whole kingdom. You are a king. You have more than enough. Not just enough for you, but enough for your whole kingdom. Okay? Priest is hard for me to understand. I was like, okay, what does a priest do? What does a priest do? Well, I'm thinking priest, and it was, so I Googled it. Okay, a Jewish priest. And you know what it says? Google, that's what Google says. But it said they were there to see the good works of the one true God and to share them with everyone. And you know why they were able to do that? Because they were in the presence of God. They were the only ones that were allowed into the most holy place, into the presence of God. You are in the presence of God. You are the only ones allowed into the presence of God. And you're there. Why are you there? So that you can tell everybody of all the good things, of all the works of the one true God. How can I tell people of things that I don't see? How can I tell people of things that don't happen in my life? How can I show people the presence of God if I don't understand that I dwell in the presence of God? That I am a priest, that He made me worthy to be in His presence. He made me worthy to live in His presence. More than a king, being a priest. That I am in the presence of God. Why? How can I have dominion in this world? Because guess what? I live in the presence of God. I live in His presence. There's no place that I go that God's not there. There's no place that I am that God is not there. Because I take Him with me everywhere I go. His presence is everywhere that I go. Because He's with me all the time. And guess what? There needs to be a manifestation of the presence of God. When there's a manifestation of His presence, guess what? I can tell people of the goodness of the one true God. I can show people of the goodness of the one true God, of the mighty works of a one true God. I stand here today healed, not because of what Angie did, but but for 1 second yesterday, God made me understand. He showed me that, guess what? This belongs to you. This healing is yours. Why is it yours? Because you are in my presence. And that, guess what? It shouldn't just be about me, but it should be about every single person I'm in contact with. And everywhere I go and everything I do, the presence of God is there. And guess what happens when the presence of God is there? And I understand that the presence of God is there. There's a manifestation of the goodness of God. Of the greatness of God. But I got to change what's in between my ears. I have got to change. Angie has got to change that it's not just for 1 second in my car when I'm by myself and I allow God to show me something, but it's every second of every single day that God never changes. His presence never changes. It never diminishes. The only thing that changes is what's between my ears. Is that I'm saying at this moment, Dean, why do we always get crapped? Why does it always happen to us? And if I take 10 seconds and I think about the situation, I realize, guess what? God just gave me $25,000. I thought I was crapped and God just gave me $25,000. That's literally what happened. Literally. But I was fussing because I felt like somebody had done me wrong. But what God actually did was He saved me $25,000. He saved our business $25,000. But the situation I was in at the moment, all I could see was the frustration instead of stopping for 5 seconds and saying, okay, God, you gave me dominion here. You are my God. You've already got this worked out. You know what's going on. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? Because in a second, God changed my thought from, why do we always get the short end of the straw? To, oh God, what did you just do? How did you just bless me through this? When He did. But what's in between my ears is always something different. Why? Because that's what you've been taught in this world. That's what this world has taught you to believe. We got to change what's here. Who are you? Who have you been created to be? What can you do? What can you have? What can you be when you change what's here? We are so much more. So much more. I am so much more today than I was a year ago. And next year, I'm going to be more than I am today. Why? Because I'm allowing Him to show me who He created me to be. And I'm bigger and I'm better than the person that's standing right here. Yep. There's more. There's more. There's always more. It never stops. In God, there's never an end. There's never enough. There's never a stopping point. You're the only person who stops. There's no time for me to stop. There's no time for me to quit. There's no time for me to say, ooh, I've arrived. Guess what? I hadn't arrived. He's just showed me a little bit more. And tomorrow I want Him to show me a little more than I know today. Allow God to show you who you are, who He's created you to be, that you are a priest and you are a king. You dwell. He made it. He made you. He saved you. It's all His doing to be a priest. To be the person that dwells in His presence. That is always there. Guess what? The priest in the old before Christ, guess what? They could only visit the presence of God. They could only visit. They had to come out. And then they could go back in when they made a sacrifice. And they made sure that they were perfect. You know, they had to go in without sin. Guess what? After Christ, I am perfect. I am without sin. I am spotless, and I can dwell in the presence of God. But I got to see and understand that I dwell there. That's who He created me to be. And I used to be excited about being a king. Today I'm excited about being a priest. You know why? Because that means that what I have never diminishes. Why does it never? Because I'm in the presence of God. I'm in His presence. I don't have to visit and come back later. I'm always there. I'm always there. We have such a better covenant than they did. We got to see that. We got to understand who we are, who we've been created to be. That from the very beginning of time, God had a plan and His plan never changed. What did He want? He wanted to dwell with us. He wanted to have relationship with us. He wanted to talk with us. He wanted there to be oneness between Him and I. From the very beginning, and His plan never changed. It never changed. And that's who we are. That's who He created us to be. And we need to begin to allow it to invade us invade our every day, invade our every second, invade our every moment, until there's not a moment where I question what God's given me, who God's created me to be, who I am, what I have, because I'm in His presence every second of every day. That is who God created you to be. Thank you.